Thanks for joining. This is something Bert and I cooked up that we do every month, where we try to give you little bits of, I guess, some little bit of training, a little bit of awareness, some ideas. Hopefully you walk away with some ideas tonight that you can take home with you to help build your teams and turning parents into helpers and leaders. That I know I could be say a sarcastic comment, say I know y'all all have all the leaders you need, but I know that's not the case. So these are just tips that can help you engage parents and turn them in from sitting in the back of the room or on the cell phone. Go ahead and show us our favorite picture, Bert, to where it has, we want to take parents from sitting there looking at their phones in the back or in their car to helping out and sharing the workload to making sure the scouting program is as strong as it can be. So hopefully you enjoy it. We do try to stick to about 25 minutes. I don't know, I want to say I'm more excited than the past topics about tonight, but I really do like this one. It's pretty much a one track thinking of what we can do and ways to recognize and take care of leaders to get them to want to do it. And as you'll go, if you've been on these series before, there's not one silver bullet. There's no one way. There's many little things that you can do that all work together that help create a culture of leading. And I don't know if I've said this one on these series yet or not, but the BSA doesn't stand for Babysitters of America. The parents must get involved. And as leaders, we thank you for joining this series to help better yourself as leaders. And hopefully it'll help you engage parents in the back of the room. So I'm going to turn it over to the expert to tell you more about tonight's topic. Bert, take it away.
Okay, so looking at the screen tonight and the various quivers of arrows that we have, our foundation is creating in a pack among the parents and the leaders a culture of leading so that parents, as Ben said, don't just start thinking that this is a drop-off program. We've in the last few months talked about that cultural foundation. We've also talked about ways to organize yourself and provide support to parents so that if they're asked to do a job, they have the tools to do it and succeed. And now we're going to talk about recognition as a way to support that and hopefully induce people to get involved and to be part of the leader team. This information and those ideas, looking at various tips to develop parents and turn them into helpers and turn those helpers into leaders, all comes from this recruiting page on recruiting leaders as part of your foundation for getting kids to or getting families into scouting. And part of it is to have as a mantra, every parent helps in this pack. You can get to that page by hitting that QR code on your phone or just scan to the Atlanta Area Council website under volunteer. It'll have recruiting tools, and one of them is step 3, recruiting leaders. Now, today's focus is on recognition and the concept that you do it right away, because a lot of times people are excited to get recognized. In other cases, you're going to be excited to see somebody get recognized and go, wow, that's pretty cool. And we know that for every parent who gets recognized for helping out, there's at least one person there at the event who's going to be super excited to see the parent get recognized. Their scout. They're going to be so excited to see the parent, get applause for doing, no matter how little the job is. If they get a congratulations, thank you, you did a great job, their parent, the kid is going to be so excited that the parent was getting some love. That's going to help us build stronger families through scouting. And that's what our goal is. It's not to just provide an hour of program every other week that the kids can enjoy. We want to make the kids the best kids they can be. That's our vision. That's our mission. We also want the parents to be the best parents they can be. That's our vision. That's our mission. Now, it doesn't have to be an Oscar statue. It can be a small token of appreciation. I've got two examples there. One, thank you for doing extra work. Here's some extra gum. You could just hand out candy. That's easy enough. Hey, if you hand out candy, the parents might not want the candy. Who might want it? The scout, the kid. And so now if you get that scout going, thanks, Mom, you helped out, you got candy. Will you help out again next time? And maybe I'll get candy again. Now you have somebody who's helping you get the parent engaged. And that's what we're all about. That's what we want to see happen in our program. One of the ways that I try to get parents engaged, I teach this in my training classes, is I will use just extra collectible overstock patches. Because if I have a parent who does something as part of the den meeting that I'm doing, and I basically run my training classes like it's a den meeting, when a parent leads the Pledge of Allegiance and another parent leads the Scout Oath, I give each of them a rare, collectible, highly sought after, bid up on eBay overstock patch. It might be the 2012 popcorn sale from the Atlanta Area Council. It may be from who knows what. There's a lot of patches that you can get free from the program center, handed out as appreciation to a parent or a scout who does something good. And you know what? The parent's not going to care about a patch, but the kid might. And once again, you're going to rope that kid into being your helper at bringing the parent back. Another idea, make a big deal of those who've stepped up to be leaders, have an inauguration ceremony at the outset of the year. And frankly, every time you get your parents together, get all the people who have volunteered, get them, to stand up in front of folks and take some applause, get some recognition. Make it a big deal. You can make it like a commissioning ceremony for den leaders and the like. Another idea is to roll out an honor roll. That's done in a lot of organizations. Why not us? If your den has or PAC has a newsletter, a website, that sort of thing, go ahead and list in just a thank you announcement, thank yous for who helped out this past month and what they did. Include pictures if you can, because if you do that, you're going to highlight to parents, we appreciate you, and hopefully they're going to feel appreciated because they're on the list. That happens in a lot of organizations. I know in our church, we're Church of the Epiphany, so the Star of Bethlehem is a big thing. And every week, every Friday, the newsletter comes out with a list of who are the Epiphany stars. So you can do that in your PAC, in your den as well, anytime you have a communication. Ben, chime in if you want to add anything. I'll give another example.
Sorry, I forgot I was muted. No, I wanted to share something other that I do with the executive staff is we do a kudos every staff meeting. And to believe it or not, it's not something I create. You can set up a culture where other people recognize other people. So if say a leader in your PAC or a parent did something to help out, as small as leading the Pledge of Allegiance or moving the tables or staying extra, and just set up an environment where they can just write a quick email or a note or drop something in a box. And then I take that note and I put it on a nice kudos template and hand it out at the next meeting. And it doesn't take hardly any energy, but it basically just gives a shout out to a parent for helping out. And it's just, everybody likes to be recognized. So that's my one I wanted to add with that. It's something simple, but it says thank you.
Here's another approach to it. I've got the idea here from, attending Atlanta United games. At the end of every game, they have a star of the match. So you can have a, star of the meeting, a star of the month, a star of the camp out. a star of the den each month. Your dens can each have a parent of the month. You don't have to get them flowers. Flowers are nice. It's easy to print out certificates. There's a whole lot of different types online, and you can make up your own ideas and your own awards. Atlanta United doesn't stop at a star of the match. They also have a golden spike winner. So typically, the star of the match is obviously going to be somebody like our star player, Thiago Almada. So he's going to be getting a lot of star of the match recognition, but they're always going to have an opportunity to recognize somebody who's maybe new, who needs a little bit of love, and that person's going to be the golden spike winner who gets to hammer home the golden spike of Atlanta United. Your pack, your den could do something like that too, where maybe you go to a craft store and you get a bunch of eagle claws and other baubles and gewgaws, and you can put them on a rope around your neck, and every time somebody gets you closer to your goals, maybe you hand out a new eagle claw and you collect them all, see who gets the most during the course of a year. Some dens and packs might go for that. If you do, if that works for you, if you want to make it a big deal, do it. There's other awards too, and let's not forget that, because a lot of us in scouting are sort of like, yeah, I don't really need more knots. I don't need awards. I'm doing it for the right reasons. Get over yourselves, because you want to be sure that you recognize anybody who's earned one of these awards and give them the recognition that they've earned, even if they don't care, because it's going to be the right thing to recognize helpers and to create that sort of a culture. You might actually get a volunteer who's interested in advancement to research those awards, and be sure that your den leaders and assistant den leaders and committee people and cub master and assistants get presented with awards when they've earned it. Maybe also that person can be sure to submit for the cub master, maybe den leaders, to receive district awards or council awards, because a lot of times we all look towards the cub master to do all that. And the cub master is probably the person, if everybody's looking towards the cub master, who ought to be put in for a district award. And they're probably the last person who wants to do that, because they're going to be too modest about it. But if you get another person to look at what the awards are, what that menu is, and have them do the work to submit for those awards, your pack is going to get a little more recognition. And then you can make that a perpetuating thing as you keep your pack promoting the fact that you've got award-winning leaders. Anything to add there, Ben?
There's something, but I think you're going to touch on it later. I guess you'll touch on it about having a thank you person, but if you have having a designated person to handle special recognition and thank you, I think is important, because you are going to hit. Are you going to hit on that, Bert?
Oh yeah, we're going to hit on thank you for sure.
All right, let me chime in on that when you get to there.
So let's suppose you do have, you want to recognize your leaders both for what they're doing generally. Be sure that you don't just do it in front of the pack when you're having a pack activity, but recognize them out in the community, at the school. Have something at the PTA meeting, in the newsletter, on the website, on a bulletin board. Same thing at church, similar communication channels. You might do that in a community, you're not going to get on the Atlanta City Council agenda, but in a lot of the small towns around Atlanta, you might have the opportunity to get your local council person to have some recognition of a cub master or scout leaders and the work that's being done by your leaders. And getting that out there is, good for your leaders, and it also helps promote your pack and who's leading it, and may attract more people to join you. Don't be shy about writing a letter to a Cub Master or Den leader or a Scout leader's employer to say, we just want to let you know that your employee is doing a lot of good for our community and the Scouts in our community, and we want to be sure you are familiar with that. Just be sure, you might want to line that up with your Cub Master or other honoree, just to be sure that you're not saying, we are so thrilled that they spent a week with us at summer camp, when they might have said that they were actually going to just be going off into the North Georgia mountains to work on a work project all week, and that's why they were going to be unavailable. So letting people at work know that their employees are good volunteers can be a very valuable thing. And thank you notes, as Ben highlighted, that can be powerful. Just taking the time to send somebody is crazy. There's a thing called the US mail. You can write in either print or cursive and express your heartfelt thanks for the work that your leader is doing. And that's an area where Ben suggests maybe you just get a volunteer who maybe doesn't want to do anything else, but is willing to send those notes on behalf of the pack. And so I'm not saying you're going to get Jimmy Fallon to do it. If you do get Jimmy Fallon to write your thank you notes, that would be great. You can make a big deal of it that way. But it will be appreciated by people. I told Ben earlier that when we had a recognition ceremony for our Scoutmaster in our troop back in 2017, we actually had our senior patrol leader act like he was playing the piano, and I had that music playing over the PA system so that it sounded good as we had different people come up to the podium and express their thanks for the great job that that Scoutmaster had done. And one of the reasons why we did that, not just the thank you note part, but also the appreciation for the job well done, is number one, is the right thing to do. Number two, he did a great job, and so, you know, let's celebrate that. And number three, we want to be sure that the succeeding Scoutmaster knows, hey, I do a good job, I'm going to get some love too here when it's my time to step down and move into a new phase of my life or a new place to live if they're moving away from you. And so that is a great thing to do the right thing, to express and publicize appreciation for the great job of your leaders. Ben, other comments, and are there questions?
Always, if y'all have questions, but I did want to chime in. Having someone, you can have somebody help with thank you notes if that's their skill set or that fits their desire. But I also wanted to share having someone responsible for recognition. Just elaborating a little more on what Bert was talking about. Some people don't want to recognize themselves. And sometimes, like a Cub Master or a Den leader that does a lot of work with those and any other awards they can get, they're not going to nominate themselves. But if you have somebody that's their role, then they do that without the person kind of knowing, and it's a surprise, and they get recognized. We do that for commissioners. We have one person responsible for recognition and helping fill out forms for commissioners, and then they get recognized. So this is where you find that person that may want to do that, and that helps your pack get recognized for all the work that they're doing. So I thought that was an important piece that I think gets overlooked real quickly, because it tends to fall on one. Most of the jobs tend to fall on one person. But always open for any questions that y'all may have.
Aisha, did you have something a second ago? Stephen? Oh. Yeah, and I'll add another note, Ben, onto your point. Another type of role you might have is somebody who can make those recognition ceremonies, whether it's Scout recognition or adult recognition, more special. I always found as a den leader, I could lead activities, I could lead games, I could do that stuff, and I was out of gas by the time it came to, here's your belt loop that you've earned today. But if you have a parent who's like really into, decor or magic or adding something special, if they come in, are your award team, whether it's youth awards or adult awards, whether it's a BSA knot, or whether it's a overstock patch or an eagle claw that you're awarding to a parent, if they can make it special and that's their superpower, engage that parent, because that is going to be a real plus if you're able to make those elements special.
Yep.
And this will
I feel like I'm already
really,
getting ready for. Oh, go ahead, Bert.
yeah, this
No,
will just help make a culture
comment.
of leading, as people realize leaders are appreciated and they're not going to be forgotten if they get involved.
Yep. I've always learned too, like in psychology and behavior, reward the behavior that you see that is desirable. And if somebody helps do something and you want them to do it again, recognize it. Even if it's just a word of thank you or a text message that says, hey, thanks for what you did tonight. Or anything like that. It goes a long way. I was going to say, I was saying, I feel like I'm already getting ready for Halloween with my setup. I apologize for being in the car. My family duties are getting the best of me tonight, but didn't want to miss this opportunity to be on the call. So apologize for the environment, but in true fashion of tonight's topic, I ran it by Bert and he agreed it was a good idea. Stephen, I think you've been on the most series that we've had. So we wanted to recognize you and tell you thank you. And I will have a Braves scouting hat mailed to you as a way of saying thanks for joining the call and being on here. And hopefully it turns the tides for the Braves and the Phillies to where we can get back into the win column and keep more games. As a highlight just came up, Atlanta scored a run.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. You did it.
I've already started talking about it, and it's happening. So, and as always, encourage other folks that want to join. We do our best to keep these. It's at 7:25 now, so it's a try to respect your time and keep the topics to where it's something you can grasp and apply. So, congratulations, Stephen. We'll send that to you.
All right. And so for those watching in the future, the Braves just scored. They're now behind 7-2 and hopefully will continue to score.
That's right.
Next month, we're going to talk about succession planning. There will be more to follow, we believe, and we hope to see you then.